I'm going to start. How is everyone doing? So good to see your faces. Hi, Angie. Hello, everyone. Kristen, Hannah, Joe, Soul Coach. Yes, good to see you.
Hello.
So good. How's everyone feeling today? Give me
Awesome.
Awesome. I was like, give me an awesome if you are feeling awesome when you said awesome. If you don't want to unmute yourself, I would love to hear how you feel in the chat. Just drop a little word. If you're not feeling so good, if something's going on in your life, also be willing to just give it space, give it a voice. So good to hear. Awesome. Okay, great. So I have this amazing topic that came up from a conversation with a client this week, where I'm going to be teaching you how to sell with an elegant approach in a way that people feel connected to you and they don't feel like they're salesy. And this whole thing about not being salesy, you guys, I thought this was like a conversation from the past, because it's one of those topics that I just don't really talk about anymore, because I used to talk about it so much. It's kind of like we've gone past it in my world. I'm like, everybody, let's go feel salesy. Who cares? Right? Like, to me, selling is such a beautiful thing that I have coached myself on it so much, but I forgot that there are so many people that still feel like a little like, I don't want to be so bold. I don't want to be so courageous or out there, because it feels like people are going to internalize me as pushy, as like full of herself, or some kind of negative thing, right? And it just came up in a client conversation. And so I thought, of course, if my clients are feeling this way, it means that people out there are also. So what I want to talk about is kind of like how the call went, because the gems that we got from there were really, really beautiful. And before we get started, Gabby says, motivated today. Awesome. Angie says, so excited to learn. Have to drop off in 30 minutes for a client call. Okay. So the first thing that my client came and told me is that she just did a 3-day live stream, or she was in the middle of it, like a conversion event, like a 5-day challenge, one of those, because she's about to launch her program. And she was noticing how she looked at the numbers, the number of people who were on the live stream, and she was having thoughts about it. Like, there's not enough people. I thought that there'll be more. Who here relates to that? Give me a 1 in the comments, or give me a little hand up. Yeah. Angie says 1. Exactly. And so what happens that when you are in online, we have businesses that are online, you start selling, all the circumstances in your life are going to start popping, and you're going to have thoughts about it as you are connecting with your audience. Let's say right now I am delivering a training to all of you. I'm talking to you, but then maybe I might look at the number of people that are in the room, and I'm like, wait, what? Only whatever many people we have, 18 people, 19 people. Like, my brain could do that. Or, oh my God, I just got a text message from somebody who pulled out of my program. What do I do? Right? Like, there's just so many things that can happen as you're delivering it. And our job as a coach and as a online teacher, which is what we are, is to keep our focus on the client. Always. If you let these things, like if you keep the focus on the numbers or the text or whatever, you are going to start getting what? Tell me in the comments. What do you think you're going to feel? Anxiety. Exactly. Depressed. Desperate. Exactly. And when you feel desperate and depressed and distracted, disconnected from the message, what do you think you would do? How would you be showing up in that moment, delivering the message? What energy? Needy? Okay, needy. Yeah, not as my full self. Exactly. Low energy, not powerful. Exactly. So good. Disconnected. Weak. Okay, perfect. So you guys get the vibe, right? And then what do you think will be the result of showing up in that energy? What would that be the result of the live stream? Look, people not connecting fully. Exactly. No one buys. People, no new clients, unmemorable to people. Exactly. Not great. It will not attract the clients I want. Exactly. Right. So do you see how when we let these things affect us in the moment, we are literally creating the result that we don't want? So you could be going through the motions and do the live stream, but if you are in your head, occupied with, oh my God, there's only 5 people in the live stream. Oh my God, oh my God, will I get the sales? Anyone listen? All of that is going to dampen your energy. This is why when I am doing anything that I'm doing when I'm delivering, I pretend nothing else in the world is going on, only we are here. Like we are here. And I stay with that frequency no matter what's happening in the chat, no matter what's happening. My job is to hold the vibe of the room and hold my vibe, because what I care about is you getting breakthroughs and you understanding better what it looks like to do great messaging, to do great sale, to do whatever it is that we're teaching on the day, right? And so the first thing is you are responsible for the results that happen after the call, the whatever event you're hosting. Maybe it's a live stream. We're talking about that in this current example. Okay. So for her, she was all in her head. And I told her, I'm like, okay, oh, these people are joining. I told her, she was so basically I had her, she revealed that she didn't want to feel like a pushy salesperson. In that moment, she gets all tripped out and she was like, I don't want to feel pushy. To kind of like shift her energy, she was like, oh, it just feels like I lost me and like I just dampen, I just want to get over and done with and blah, blah, blah. And so I asked her, and I want you guys to ask yourself this question. Have you ever saw me sell on live streams? Anyone here? Hey, Jean. Angie says no. Okay. Has anyone ever seen a live stream of mine when I make an offer? I do a great job at educating. Gabby says yes. Okay. Yes. We have some yeses coming in. Great. Okay. Did I ever feel to you as a, what did you say? Car salesperson? Not at all. Never. No. Okay. Tell me why. How did it feel for you in the way that I was showing up? What was I feeling? Or what was my set? What was I doing that had you feel like it was not car sales selling? Sharing the love. I love that. What else? Natural conversation. You're having a conversation with lots of truths and love. Your power. Enticing, lots of energy, like you really believe in the service. You felt like a guide, sharing the love. So good. Okay. So notice, so authentic. Okay. Notice that that's your experience, right? I am selling in a way that has you feel this way. What some people will think is that I am pushy, that I am on people's faces, that I am bold, that I am going for it, that I talk about my offer, that I talk about this, that I talk about it. I do all the things people, they think that you shouldn't be doing, right? Like I quickly tell people that there's a magnetize and monetize mastermind, and it's the best marketing mastermind that you will ever be in. And if you don't come, you're missing out on the best transformation in your life, because you won't need anything in marketing after that. So I'm in full belief of my offer, and that can come across as bold, as like maybe too much, maybe in your face. But why doesn't it? The reason why it doesn't, the reason why people receive it as love is because instead of me thinking people don't want what I have to have, they're going to think I'm pushy. They're going to think I'm salesy, or she's full of shit. Some of the thoughts that my client was giving me that she was afraid people will think was she's pushy. She shoves people down their throat, shoves shit on everyone. She's full of shit. And so for me, the thoughts that I have about myself first is people will be so lucky to have me in their corner because I can really help them. So it's my responsibility to be as enthusiastic as I possibly can be, because this is the best opportunity that they can have in their lives. So I imagine that magnetize and monetize is kind of like a cure to cancer. If you had the cure to cancer, one of my coaches says that if you had the cure to cancer, how would you go sell it? Like you go and be like, I got it, let's go. It's the best thing ever. You got cancer? I can fix you up. Let's do it. Right? Of course. I wouldn't be like, I have it, but it's only if you want. And no, I just don't want to be too pushy. Like, only if you want it, let me know. Like, it's just not the vibe, right? We are not taking responsibility for selling in a way that is going to make people feel, oh, yes, right? We're like literally leaving them halfway there. And so one of the things that I want to tell you is that the feeling for my client that she was feeling as the overarching feeling that she was feeling when she thought I'm being pushy was embarrassment. So when she felt embarrassment, she would talk about her offer, but kind of shrink it, right? Because she was feeling embarrassed. And then she would like skip over it really quickly and then just kind of like want to get off the live stream, right? And I told her, like, is there anything in the world that you feel that you feel excited about telling people about to go buy it? Is there anything? And she said, yeah, there's this coffee shop around the corner. Oh my God, it's so amazing. I tell everybody they need to go. They need to go. They need to go. They need to go. Like, it's the best coffee shop ever. And I'm like, okay, great. So are you afraid that people are going to go to the coffee shop and be disappointed? She's like, well, if they don't like it, they don't like it. It's all good. I'm like, huh? Because one of the thoughts that she had was like, what if they buy it and they don't like it and they're disappointed, right? So what I want you to see here is that when we ahead of time think somebody's not going to like something and we personalize it, we're going to undersell. When we think about something that is not personal to us, we are going to always go and talk about it because it means we have nothing to lose. They can only win. We have nothing to lose. Right? And so when we are selling our coaching packages, it's so easy to personalize whatever response people have. Meaning, if they reject it, we make it about us. If they accept it, we make it about our self-worth going up. And we're like, oh, we're so good. This is amazing. I'm the queen of the world. People bought it. I'm sold out. I'm a sold out 100K coach. Yes, I am me, amazing. And go to post on social media, tell everyone about it. Great. But what happens when you don't sell? What's going to happen? Your self-worth is going to tank. And this is why in this coaching industry is it feels so unhealthy, right? When we see people celebrating and everything, and then we think we have to celebrate all the time because we only see that standard, but not everybody's always winning. Majority of the time, people are fucking out there in the battle. You just don't see that, right? We don't see the battles. We just see the victories. And so it's so important that when we think about ourselves, when it comes to people are buying, we choose to not change their opinion about myself. Like, if people buy from me, I have the same opinion about myself, whether if people don't buy from me. Like, really let that sink in. The opinion that you have about you needs to stay protected and is the most important thing, no matter what happens on your next launch, no matter what happens this month, no matter what. That is your job to protect it. Because when you protect that, then what happens if somebody tell me, if we protect our identity, our own opinion of ourselves as the most important opinion that we can ever have. Sure, we care about other people's opinions because we are human beings. If anyone here thinks that you don't care about what other people think, you don't understand how your brain works. Every brain cares about what other people think, okay? We're not gonna try to fight our nature. We're gonna let our nature be our nature. We are gonna care about what other people think about our clients. Are they having results? Are they enjoying themselves? Is our audience? Are they liking this and that? We're gonna care. Fine, right? Not a problem. But who is the most important person that we need to care about, that thinks about us, is us. Top number one opinion, right? That's the one that I care about the most. And so I want you to recognize what is the opinion that you have about yourself when it comes to selling. And what is the opinion that you have about yourself when you are killing it and selling? And what about the times when you don't? And you got to reconcile that. Because that is going to give you the secret of being able to sell consistently, boldly, courageously. Because the person that you care about most is your opinion, how you're showing up. Right? So that's going to give you the energy of the way that you want to show up. So for me, I think really delicious things about myself. I think I'm brilliant. I think anyone who gets to work with me is so lucky because I literally have a multidimensional approach to everything. Like, where else in the world can you get this kind of support? I mean, I'm still looking. There's nothing else out there. Who else teaches you the strategies and the tactics, like the strategic level of how to attract premium clients, how to create an offer, how to write the copy, how to sell it, how to create like the whole thing, like tactically. But who else talks about the mindset, and who else is trauma informed and understands your feelings and lets you make the decisions? And then who else talks about the energy? I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is the best thing ever. Like, who else? Like, where else? How does it get better? So I sell myself so deeply on my offer first and on me that energy just overflows to all of you. Then it's just a natural byproduct. And some people are gonna think, whoa, these bitches are just like, whoa, it's just super intense. Or some are gonna be like, yes, thank you, that's what I need. I feel safe in you, like in your container. I know you're gonna have my back. Let's fucking go, right? And you gotta be willing to have some people be like, this is a little too intense for me, or this is perfect for me. And not that you have to sell like I do, right? Like, you all have your own personality. Maybe you're like this calmer vibe, you know, a lot of my clients are that, and a lot of my clients are very calm. They still sell out. They do the whole like spiritual thing, but they're very clear that their offer is the best thing and that they get to come from this excitement, courageousness to sell from that place. Now, the last thing I want to share here is that once you do this work, and this is the homework that I gave up until now, this would be a full stop training. Like, I can just leave you with that. But the way that you make sure that on your live streams and in your copy, you don't start then making it about you, because everything that I just told you was like, you, I'm amazing, my program is amazing. That's not how our message needs to be framed. That's not what's going to sell. And that's what most people do. They're like, my program is so amazing, I'm so sold on myself, oh my God, it's so good, me, and then you're gonna, right? That's just for internal purposes. That's for internal purposes. For external purposes, what do you think people care about, your audience? What do you think they care about? Do they care about you? What do they care about? Nailed it. Themselves. Can they get results they are looking for? What they will get as a benefit. Results. Exactly. So they care about themselves, their life, and how their lives are going to be changed by working with you. And that is your job. When you are out there, when you are selling, your job is to not just talk about why you're so inspired about having created this program and how you downloaded it from the stars and in a dream, and like, you know, how like this is an important work in life. Like, okay, great, let's get on with it. So what's in it for me? And from the first 30 seconds, it's important that you know how to bridge into your offer. Now, I teach all of that inside Magnetize and Monetize Mastermind. That's a whole lesson. So I'm not going to give every single detail now because we have only 10 minutes to go. But it's important that if you don't have support around that, you find it, you crave it, you understand how to do it elegantly. Because you go from teaching something, right, in a live stream, for example, and then you go to make an offer. And that's an important point. How do you transition elegantly so people are like, oh yeah, give me more, not like, okay, here comes the pitch, right? And one of the ways to do that is to make sure that you make it about them. From the first 5 seconds that you start talking about your offer, remove anything about you and add everything to do with them. And where they're at and how they're feeling and how that's going to help them. And so I just, in order, right? Like the first thing that we do is, I know you're feeling this way and it sucks because I know you want this. So the first thing we do is this and that so that you can get blank or insert that. Once we have that, then I know you're feeling this way. I know you need this thing. Same thing. And then the third thing is, at this point, you will have clarity on these things. You will know how we probably are here in the journey, but you still have this problem. So this is how we will solve it inside the program. this is what I do to solve it, right? I'm just giving you a very broad, like super broad, but that's how, do you notice how I was not talking about, I teach you advanced trauma-informed practices so that you can really see the trauma from your past ancestors, because that is really important to clear for your future generations. What? Why? No, I don't get it. Sounds cute. Sounds like I should want it because sounds kind of complex, but I don't understand what is happening. Right? So it's so much about what they are, what is important to them. And that's how you sell elegantly, because you're not making it about you. Think about what car salespeople feel like. They feel pushy, or car salesy, I guess it's a feeling. But it just feels like their interest is not in you, because they're all focused on them. I want to get the sale. I want to get the sale. That's why it never feels good to buy from a car salesperson like that, or when they're weird. I mean, I'm sure there are many out there. I don't even have a car, so I don't even know what it's like to buy a car. But it's like everybody talks about it. So the reason for that to happen is because they're focused on them, and you can feel it, right? They're focused on, like, can I get this sale? And all we have to do, all the internal work that we did, is to cement our confidence in, I got this. I'm the best person to help these people. How do I know? Because they're right here. Like, I'm the best coach for all of you because you're here. You're not somewhere else. You're listening to me today, here. Same thing with the people that you talk to in your audience. Anyone who tunes in, they're the best person because they are here. Start with that. Don't question whether they're a good lead or not. That's not your job. Your job is to pour into them from a place of, here's why this is important to you. And I feel really secure in myself that I got your back. That's how it becomes elegant. That's how anything you say comes from a place of being courageous, being bold, but also leaning back. Like, it's totally up to you to make that decision. I'm here. If you want to take the next step, let's go. Here's why you should. Best thing ever you could do. Here's why. Here's testimonials, and here's how people love it. So what's in the way? And you hold the space. You let people tell you what the fear is, and then you just make it no big deal. I mean, I could go on a sales training here, but I'm going to stop there. How is this landing? How is this landing so far? What's a breakthrough? What's a takeaway that you have? I would love to hear. If you want to unmute yourself, if you have a question, we have 6 minutes. Angie says, I need to have more confidence that I got this. Joe Bell says, awesome clarity. Amazing. What else? Focus on serving. Yes. Focus on serving. Focus on serving is one of those things that can be a little vague, because what does that mean? Right? I focus on serving. What do you mean? Sometimes people overteach. So inside Magnetize and Monetize Mastermind, there's a lesson where I teach how to stop overteaching, because people sometimes just go and get that, they've heard just give and then value will come back. And so then they just spit all this value onto people and they think it's going to come back. And what they've done is they oversaturated people's minds. And so there's no real desire to take the next step, because people's minds are still processing what just happened, and they barely understand what just happened anyway, because most coaches use complicated language and they get into the how, and that's not how we sell. We don't sell by teaching the how. That's how we confuse people. And so focusing on serving, yes, and within the boundaries of letting it be easy for the clients to understand. I have a question. What would be your one main tip to not get too attached to the outcome? Great. Simple. There's always more where that came from. There's always more from where that came from. More of where that came from. Does that make sense? Like, the only reason why we get attached to something is because we think nothing more will be present in the future. We think that there's a limited amount of people that will come by. But if you knew that there are 150 clients that were going to come your way, why would you get attached? It's kind of like with men, right? Like I'm dating, so I'm all about the topic right now. It's like I'm dating and I'm like, oh, this abundance and this is so good. And I'm just not getting attached, because there's an abundance of amazing men. It's like, oh yeah, I'll get to receive. Like I get to receive from all. There's more coming, right? And so that, instead of being like, no, I gotta cling on to this one because my focus and attention is just on this one, and so I better put all my eggs in that basket. I'm like, nah, no eggs in no one basket, right? There's so many people coming from all angles. So if you go with the energy of like, this is what I want, this will be amazing to work with this client, but I know there's more where that came from. So I'm available to receive what's right for me versus what I feel like I need today, right? So with that said, drop more questions if you have. We have a few more minutes left. I want to tell you about Magnetize and Monetize Mastermind, because I know if you're here with this topic, for this topic, this program is going to literally give you insights on so much more in sales. Here's what we do. In 3 months, I help you clarify your message so that you can attract premium clients. And the way we do that is, the first thing is we elevate the quality of clients that you attract, because all of you here know that you want to work with clients who pay you more, but you don't know where to find them. So the first thing that we do, I give you an exercise that literally will help you make your money back in the first week, where I teach you how to elevate the quality of clients that you attract. Super easy. Then once we do that, we optimize your offer, we optimize your pricing so that you're actually selling at the price that is really aligned to you. And we just clean up your offers. We make it super easy for you to go to either your first 100K or your first 500K, because in Momentum Mastermind, we take clients to $1 million. So that's kind of like the sweet spot. We help you, we set you up with the offer, and then I teach you my content distribution strategy and content creation strategy, really. And this is how I still run my business. You guys, I made this program when I was making less than 500K, and I still follow the principles at the $2.5 million level. Like, it simplified my life so much. So you're going to literally get to see how to organize yourself. What is the right content to write? How do you make offers? How do you make offers that feel delicious? How do you not over teach? How do you make sure that you're doing live streams that convert to sales calls? And how do you organize your whole content strategy so that you just always be selling, be receiving clients at all times? And then the last thing that I teach you is how to pre-qualify all those people into becoming amazing premium clients, and how to hold space for them on a call. Because I know you don't want to sell and be pushy. And I know that you want to sell and have people feel connected to you and not feel like they hang up the phone and then they're like, oh, I regret that. Right? Oh, I don't really want that. Like a week later. So important that we have people that are fully invested in your program, and they're not going to have like hangovers about it. And so I teach you my sales process for it's called Soulful Sales, where I teach you how to hold space really beautifully and how to coach people through their fears, their objections, because shit is going to come up for sure. Just like it comes up with a $500 offer, it comes up with a $10,000 offer. It's all the same. So whether you sell $10,000, $20,000 or $100, it's all the same. Everyone's always going to have thoughts about fears about investing. And so I really support you in holding space for that and handling those situations with a lot of grace, so that people feel a full body yes, and they're not going to go and back out from your programs. So that's the whole thing. I mean, there's more. That's what I'm going to share with you. So right now we have an early bird price, which is you get $1,000 off. And I want to invite you to apply today so that you get the $1,000 off before the launch begins, which is going to be in a few months, in August. And the next cohort starts in September. This is why this is the most important thing you can do today, because people who join early, they make the most money. It's crazy. I'm just telling you, it's a pattern. They join early, they have more time to sit with the content. You get access to everything right away. You can start making your money back by the time that we start the coaching, which would be in September. Literally, you'll be like, I've already got this. And you have so much more time to absorb everything. So this is the best time to apply. My clients, so many of my clients who join early make their money back so quickly before the program starts, sometimes within 48 hours, because they just absorb the things and start applying. And so this is the best time for you to apply. So I'm going to drop the link, and then I'm going to answer some questions that just came in. There's the name. There we go. And you guys, I want to invite you to just binge on all of the testimonials. like just binge on the testimonials. I mean, I can say all the nice things about it, but it's really what the clients say, right? Like, you can hear me, you'll be like, yeah, you're trying to sell me onto something. Be like, listen, don't believe me, believe the people that have gone through it, right? Okay, so I have a question that came in. Sissy says, how do you get over the idea that I shouldn't need to sell this? Oh no, that's entitlement. What do you mean you shouldn't need to sell it? Of course. You kidding? We get to sell this. We get to be entrepreneurs. We get to deliver value to the world. This is a gift. We get to have a business. We get to, like, literally, to me, selling is my greatest gift as an entrepreneur, that I get to make my own money, that I get to sell whenever I want it, that I don't have to wait for somebody to tell me, here's how much I'm going to give you this month. But literally, I generate that. That's my greatest power. And sure, magnetize and monetize is dope, and it sells itself, but I'm still going to go and sell with that energy of this is the best thing ever. I'm not entitled to it selling, right? So you should be selling it. You should want to sell it because you love it, because it's amazing, because the whole experience is just so joyful, and this value exchange, I mean, it's just so powerful the way that I see it. And so I think that that's a mindset shift, that instead of like, I shouldn't have to sell it, you get to be grateful for the ability that you have to sell it, especially being online. I mean, you guys, the fact that we can make money on a computer, I just cannot believe it. Like, we can say words and people buy things. What? I'm like, hello, words, money. What? And we're complaining? We're like, it's too hard. What? Have you seen people in the world? They work fucking hard. This is easy. This is fun. This is so much fun. Okay, I gotta go in 5 minutes. When I talk to a lead confidently, they seem confused or not confident. One time to think. What should I do? So bring the future into the present. What do you want to think about? All they're doing is trying to push the decision to later. Let me talk to my husband. Let me think about it. Let me ask the angels and guides. Let me look at my bank account. Let me whatever. Let me this, and then I'll tell you. And all that is just protection from accessing their own wisdom. And so you just bring the future into the present. Okay, so what do you think your guys would say? What do you think your husband would say? What do you think what are you going to think 2 days from now? What do you think that might happen? What do you think you're going to find in your bank account? Like, you always bring the future to the present, because people think they don't know, but they actually already know. So how can we move away from moving from pain points to making them from a transformation point of view without making rambling? I don't understand your question. Yeah, I don't understand that question essentially, Elaine. How can we move away from moving from pain points to making about them? I don't know. I know, sorry, it's terrible. So okay. Okay.
Here are indications that I need your help with my copy. What I meant was moving away from, of going, oh, are you struggling to get sales? Are you struggling? It's coming from more of a place of empowerment, but like being able to flip the script with greater ease, basically, is what I meant. I'm more of a verbal communicator than text.
Yeah. So what you're saying is, how do you stop saying, are you struggling with sales?
Yes.
Yeah. Why? Okay. First of all, tell me why that is important to you.
I just find the quality of clients that you get when you're going in on pain points can sometimes be a bit more like victim-y mentality. I found when I have definitely, I did 2 launches and I did a different approach both times, and I found I was attracting way better people when I was coming from like, are you ready to hit your first 5-figure month? Are you ready for this? But sometimes, I don't know, I'm a bit programmed to go into the pain points a bit too much.
Yeah. Delete backspace.
Really?
Delete. This is like, we got indoctrinated into believing that, right? Like, we need to push on people's pain points. So this is why I teach empower versus disempowered client, because we want to speak to the empowered version of our clients. And what you're saying is true. Otherwise, we're going to attract victims and people who are not making money or who want a fast, urgent solution and they're like needy, right? And so the way your question is, so your question is how to not speak to pain points?
Yes, basically.
Okay. So we don't need to talk about pain points. We talk about problems. Problems are neutral.
Okay. Yes.
Right? Problems make us feel a certain way, right? And you just talk about the problem and how it makes them feel. That's not leading with pain points. You talk about the problem that's going on in their life and how it shows up and how it makes them feel and why that's not okay, and a better way that you have available for them to get the result, because they deserve to have these XYZ.
Yes, perfect. Okay, amazing. Thank you.
Make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Love it. You're amazing. Thanks for your magic.
Of course. I think that's really important for us, is to remember that, we are problem solvers as entrepreneurs. That's our job, to be problem solvers. We are not pain solvers, right? Like that's on you. But people kind of like get tripped up about this. And so they're like, oh, but I shouldn't be speaking to what's wrong in their lives. It's like, no, you have to talk about the problem for them to be like, oh yeah, I have that problem. We're just not going to diminish them or shame them into the problem and say, and by the way, if you don't do this now, you're dumb, or like this will be the worst decision ever if you don't do it now, and like everything else you do is a waste of time. Like that is when you like shove people down into like diminishing them. So I'm not available for that, but I am available for speaking to problems, because that's what people buy, solutions to problems. Cool. Amazing. Okay, last comment that came in. I am thinking to start your 30 days for your truth challenge. Thanks, Julian, for bringing the idea. Love to know if anyone else is doing it. So many people are doing it. I was just at a conference and people loved it and they started doing it. So then you will be, if you look for the hashtag, I think like you'll be able to see some new people who are doing it. All right, my loves, this was so much fun. How do you feel? Give me one word in the chat. How do you feel? I'm feeling lit up. Thank you so much. Pumped, amazing, powerful, inspired. Yeah, love it. So good. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. And I will see you, ladies and gentlemen, next week on our next training. Can't wait to see you. Have an amazing rest of your day. Mwah. Bye.